Welcome to the merry-go-round that is, well, today's market. Make sure you guys smash the crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more content. So this is quite interesting. We talked about this yesterday in the What in the World Happened Here video, as we just have seen Dark Magician of Destruction really tearing through the market right now. Now, you got to remember, this card's getting an ultimate rare in 6 to 7 weeks, actually. And the fact that we're going to be seeing this card, you know, receiving that key reprint here, they were pushing $100 yesterday. We've had a little bit of time to watch the natural push down market competition, you know, trying to adjust these prices. Now, I will say there's not a large amount of these underneath the threshold here, which is, I think, probably where our rough parts are going to start to come in here. Is just going to be crossing the line here and seeing, you know, who is going to be, you know, trying to get the cheapest. But right now you can actually buy it for sub $80, which is good. Now, how long, you know, and with the feedback score, if it's worth it. If not, you're going to spend $85 from 100%. So approach this how you will, knowing that, you know, this card has had, oh my God, so many sales over the last 48 hours. I'm honestly just impressed, but this is what happens. The YCS showed us that giant pile decks, these 60 card piles, are able to tear through all of these different sorts of combo lines. And now that we have this knowledge that, you know, these extensive combos are kind of doing their thing, well, you know, that's where we've been left at. Arcanite Magician. This is still one of the funniest things to see to me. The fact that Arcanite gives you possibly 2 body controls off of the field, allowing you to decently control things, is wonderful. But also at the same time, it's a synchro stepping stone. You know, it's a level 7 that you can actually warp with, be able to do things, kind of control the game, and so forth, which is still wonderful in the sense of what you got here. Now, Duelist League versions were already expensive, and this is going to be the case whenever you're looking at these older versions of cards, right? Duelist League versions are always going to kind of sit on the pedestal, and they're going to be the cool versions. Right now, it looks like we've got Arcanite Magicians coming in at $20. Looks like, I don't know, Duelist League rare blues are 14s, which is crazy because blue is usually one of the more coveted ones. Greens are coming in at 20s. And then, of course, supers, I see mod plays at 7s. Now, in terms of sales data here, you've had a lot of $15 versions kind of rotating on through. Another at the $17 range, which is not doing too terribly. And then Infinity Chasers, which is the funny haha version. These are $4 a piece. But don't worry. Gold versions were the ones that were completely cratered off the market yesterday. I am glad to see, though, that probably the ugliest rarity in the availability span of these, because I'd rather just pick up the super rares for these, you know, truth be told. But honestly, these are doing decently well. $3 to $4 post shipping is really not too, well, they're about $4 a piece. All right, not too bad. Elf Note cards. I talked yesterday and I said, you know, realistically, if you were looking at wanting to build Elf Note, you could get the stuff relatively cheap. You know, by relatively cheap, I mean like the core's like, well, it was about 115 when we did the math yesterday. Now, high rarity stuff is a completely different story. $54 Tenias, you can thank this for being a bridge point for Ars Magna. You know, Lucinias are 50s. Regenas are coming in at 45s. And then, of course, the Great Phoenix is 34. Elf Note June Pride's 35. But when you start to get down here, you know, these have actually already kind of dropped down. These are $24 a piece, which is not bad. So that's 75. These are 10s. You know, now you're looking at what? 100, 75, 105, and then the rest of this just really drops down here. Like Tenias are like $2. Teeny is still probably the best sub value, and then the rest of the core is just nothing. And I will emphasize once again, the core. You got to plug in pot of slots, you know, your extra deck pieces, whatever other tools you need to make your cool tune deck the competitive cool tune deck, but at least the core has got some decently cheap availability to it. Which brings me to our annual quarter century buyouts. Yay! Which dumb quarter century card has gone up in value today, you ask? Well, it's Shrink. Yeah, this is what happens to me in the winter when I cry and I can't actually, you know, be happy about it. But these are coming up currently about $18 a copy, pushing on up to $20. The fact that these are like $25 is hilarious. In terms of your sales data, 15, 8, 9, 13, 13, 10, 10. I mean, like, Shrink as a... How is this card doing as a whole? I'm very, like... Oh, my God. Shrink in Yu-Gi-Oh! Kaiba Anniversary Set. These are only $7 a piece. I'll be darned. That's probably one of the cheapest Kaiba set cards I think I've seen running around. And then, of course, the Speed Duel commons are $3. The old super rares, so you can get a light play for 20 cents. Legendary Collection Kaibas have a little bit of value, and so forth. Yikes. Well, I mean, I guess that's interesting. Mage Power, another quarter-century card that's going up to the moon. Yay! Sorry, man. I'm intrigued by the value of these cards, because it's always fun to look at these things and see, you know, what cards are going crazy. You know, why is what moving up today? And I mean, like, Mage Power is not particularly a card that's all that crazy to me in hindsight. You know, you kind of look at the market and you go, oh, okay, you've had one sale this month. One single copy of this is actually kind of clammed on through the market. So, you know, we're not really doing too terribly bad on that. So overall, I mean, okay, all things considered. Now, this one is probably the most interesting one. So I insert older format talk here. You know, as we journey through the older formats, one thing is for certain. Jinzo Returner is one of those interesting little cards that's kind of creeped throughout the years. Because if this card is milled by like a Lightsworn effect, for example, you get the ability to special summon a Jinzo, and then it destroys itself during the end phase. There has been a lot of cool older format application for this card, but in terms of like crazy success, for example, he's not really gone like too crazy. Now, keep in mind, these are from Light of Destruction. Now, for first ed copies of these, you're looking at like some of the dumbest price points that you could actually want to see. But in terms of what's actually sold, you don't have much going on with this. Now, if you take that off, you go look at Unlims, you're going to see the exact same picture. Now, luckily for us, this set and Legendary Duelist of Ra, so there are common printings of this card that do in fact exist. This isn't just something that, you know, it's just like, oh my God, you know, I'm going to shit my pants. It's just first ed copies right now are going a little bit more crazy than you would kind of expect. But kind of keep an eye on that one. Gizmek Orochi, well, still have the Tri-Realm deck kind of sitting in the back of people's minds right now. I know a lot of people have been like super excited for that. But Master Gizmek Orochi, how are you doing right now? It looks like your last sale was about 5 days ago. You've not had anything crazy really working around here, but these are $18 a piece. And really just kind of shifting on around, doing some, you know, decently expected things. Like Tri-Realm is interesting for what has been going on, but that's just what we've got going on. And then also, I was curious to see if any of the new YCS prize cards had hit eBay, just out of like functioning curiosity. You know, let's go check completed here. Ended recently. Another Stratios sold for $600, which is kind of crazy. You know, you have the chunk of Orcas, but these Veilers have not been selling like at all. Like if you're sitting here going, oh my God, these Veilers are so cool and they're so exciting, they're not moving. People are putting reserves on them and they're wondering, you know, like why these cards aren't selling. It's because you need to be realistic. All right, right now nobody's looking at wanting these Veilers, and like, I'm sorry, like that's just how it is. But in terms of availability, I've heard the Black Luster Soldier has the Ultra's got like a $20,000 offer on it or something like that. I don't know how accurately true that is. You know, it's little sorts of interesting things like that. But welcome to the new high-end market for all things to be explored with where we're going. So please leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think. I'll see your beautiful faces back later in the day, guys. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.